Hey everybody, welcome to Dad, Daughters, and Drinks, where you'll always get at least two of those three. Today you've got me drinking a Margarita, and I am going to be reacting to Asterism, Gunfire, live in studio. So I reacted to a couple of Asterism songs so far. I've reacted to Dawn, which was a live concert, and I reacted to Church, which was another live in studio. And so my observation on just from those two first videos were that they were super fantastic live. Like the Dawn, was emotional for me. It was so good. And then Church was really good, but it didn't have the same kind of energy. And I'd said, maybe that's because they kind of thrive in front of a live audience. And some people said, yeah, Church, they don't have the greatest energy. It's probably from their live in studio, and it's probably the one with the least amount of energy. A lot of, kind of technical prowess and things, but it wasn't quite as, fun to watch, I guess I would say, as Dawn was. So Gunfire was one of the ones that people recommended from live in studio recordings that might have a little bit more energy. So I'm going to give this one a shot and we will see how it goes. And also a couple other things real quick. Number one is, if you're not familiar with the band, make sure you go check out their page, subscribe to them if you like the music, give them the likes, give them the comments on the videos. It really helps them out. And also, I've been working on my sound. The last several videos, for some reason, I've just been having the volume's been too low, and I think I figured it out. So let me know in the comments how the overall sound is and maybe how it sounds, my mix versus the recording itself. I mean, I listen to it and, I can tell you that I think it sounds okay now, but I would like your feedback as well. Thanks. Let's get it. So banger right out of the gate, and I just wanted to call out. So he's using a 5-string bass here. I can't remember if he was using the 7-string in Church or not that he was using in Dawn as well, but I was like, for whatever reason, to notice how many strings they're playing on, and I think she was playing on a 7-string as well, which to me, well, it's looking like 6, but recently I've gotten busted a couple of times saying, oh, I think this is a 6-string, and someone will point out there's a peg sticking out the back and there's actually 7 strings. But this is looking like a 6 to me, so I'm going to call it that. And it does already seem to have more energy than Church did. Okay, that part was really cool. I'm going to listen to that again. I like that little tremolo kind of bass thing he was doing on the 2 different strings going back and forth. But I also want to watch that so I can hear what she was doing, because I was so focused on the bass part that she was doing some kind of cool atmospheric thing up high. So I appreciate something he just did right there, right? He was looking to do a slide on the bass string, but then have it stop real staccato, right? And so he pulled his right hand over at exactly the same time he was sliding his left hand up to stop the string and give it that kind of like whoop, but then have it stop real quick thing. Also, geez, look how wide he's bending the string right there. See, I can't catch it. It's 5 seconds. I wish I could go back and get half a second. All right there. Even that's not the full amount that he's actually bending the bass string, which is a little... I don't see that too often. That's pretty cool. Right there. And again, I keep getting distracted by the bass and I'm missing what she's playing. So there's been like multiple different parts. It's almost like every 12 measures they're playing a completely different song or something, but it all goes together really well. And he just played a bass part that sounded really familiar to me. I got to hear that again. Boy, that sounds so familiar. It's almost like they're paying homage to some other metal song that has that I know I didn't do that justice, but you know what I'm talking about. If anybody knows what song I might be thinking of, where there's that kind of groovy little background thing and then they throw in the high notes in between, I swear that's something and I'm having trouble hearing it or figuring out what it is. I can hear it. It's gonna kill me now. Okay, so we've now started to hear a couple parts that were repeated. The part where she's doing kind of that high atmospheric thing and the bass player is doing the do-do-do-do-do-do. And then this part right here they played a little bit a while ago again. But that little section in the middle that they were just kind of playing simultaneously was awesome. I actually want to go back and hear that again a little bit. I think that's what a lot of people call the Jimi Hendrix chord, although I think it's, he doesn't normally play it so high, but that's like at the opening of Purple Haze kind of thing, played down here at you can't see where I'm pointing, but I think it's played down at the 7th fret. It's an E. I forget exactly what the chord is, E minor 7 flat 5 or something. I forget. I shouldn't even try to come up with it, but I think that's what the chord is. It's a great chord. Geez, that bass background, I mean, she's killing it, don't get me wrong. But it's unusual to have, like, sometimes the bass players will play things that are complicated enough, and he does this a lot, where they're not even, it's not like they're even just really playing, like, a rhythm. It's, like, melodic at the same time. But as opposed to that part a little bit ago where they were playing simultaneously all over the place, now they're almost just, like, doing two totally different solos that are like working really well together. I'm not saying that it sounds Baroque, but if you think about like Bach, kind of harpsichord inventions and things, where the right hand and the left hand or fugues or whatever, not fugues, I think it was just the inventions that are like the right hand and the left hand are just playing completely different things. But yet they work at the same time. And that's almost what this part was reminding me of a little bit. Not like this is sounding Baroque or anything, but just having the two different instruments playing completely different things. And it just sounds good. I wonder if he's playing the same part that they played before when they were playing it together. I think he might be. And now he's repeating that, and she's just kind of wailing on some kind of, almost like a blues scale. Okay, she just killed that. That was really cool, and I like that he switched to slap and pop in there because it gave it a completely different flavor. You know what these guys are reminding me of? Not the music itself, but like certain Rush instrumentals like YYZ or La Via Strangiato that are just kind of almost like these different parts completely. And a lot of times they even actually number them and give them names and things for the different themes that happen. Sometimes they'll go back and reprise, different parts or whatever. But that's almost what this reminds me of. It's just going all over the place, but in a really fun way, and it goes together really well. I gotta hear that bass part again. That reminded me of something. There's an old Pink Floyd song called Let There Be More Light on their second album, 1968, Saucer Full of Secrets, opening track, that has a really cool bass part that was very, very, very similar to that, but a lot slower. Just starts off with the bass doing almost like what he was doing, but at about half the speed, and then some cymbals come in a little bit. Each instrument starts coming in a little bit, adding into it, and that's kind of what that bass line reminded me of. That was all. Watch the bass player as the chords are rolling off. He just looks like, you could tell he gave it everything he had. He's like almost trying not to breathe heavy from exhaustion, and he's not doing a good job of not showing it. Like, she's looking pretty chill, but he's like kind of huffing and puffing there. Look, she immediately went into like retuning for the next song or whatever. Oh, that was great. That was a lot of fun. Now, I will say, that clearly had a lot more energy and was a lot more fun than church. Now, it wasn't, I think I would say, if I'm remembering correctly, it wasn't as like technical prowess heavy as what church had. But what they did was just fantastic. This was a lot of fun. I still think if I were to see them play this song live, I think it would be better. Even if they played it exactly the same way. I think just the way, if it was anything like Dawn, the way they bounce off the audience, and like you see her like in Dawn smiling and things and making faces and kind of interacting with the audience while she's playing, or jumping up on, the speaker or whatever it was. Like there was a lot more extra fun stuff on top of the music that gave it a little bit more energy as well. But this was definitely for me much better than Church was. Again, not to put Church down at all. I really enjoyed it, but this was one that I would go back and watch. Will go back and watch some more often. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really am glad you guys told me about this one. And if there's any other songs that you want me to react from them, I've got a couple on the list, but not a ton. And so if you guys can give me some feedback, and depending on which songs people seem to throw into the comments the most, I'll do that one next. Whether it's a live studio one or a live in concert one, or maybe they even have some OMBs I can take a look at as well. But I really definitely want to take a look at a little bit more. There were tons of fun stuff here. Really, really talented musicians who are doing things that are different than everybody else. I'll just say it that way. I mean, there's a lot of these bands, and they're all very different, but they've hit, for me, a certain kind of groove that's almost crossing genres in terms of rock and metal and blues and classical almost at points. And they do it in a way that keeps it interesting by not playing the same stuff over and over again, right? They're jumping around. Even though there were a few themes in here that got repeated a couple of times, it was always like they went off and did other things and then just kind of came back to the main theme for 12 bars or whatever, and then went off and did something else again, or a few things. Just kept the whole thing really fresh. Good stuff. And I think that's it for me. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate your comments as always, and the time that you spent with me today, and I look forward to seeing you again the next time. Thanks. Bye.